Hey guys, Rick here. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to grow microgreens, and we're going to go through a really simple process so that you can be growing your own microgreens easily in your own house. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click that notification bell so you get noticed every time I release new videos. Go follow us over on Instagram as well. We'd love to have you join us there. And then a big thank you today to True Leaf Market, because they're the ones that are sponsoring this video. They also gave me this great microgreens starter kit that we're going to talk about as well. So it's going to be a fun video. I'm looking forward to it. There are a lot of really good microgreen tutorials out there on the internet. The one problem that I've kind of found with most of them is they're done by people who are growing professionally. So growing microgreens for restaurants or farmers markets or things like that. And so those people are having to be very technical about what they're doing, because it's all about yield and harvest, right? Because they're making money from doing this. I'm just a gardener, and I don't sell these. We just eat them ourselves. And so I thought that I would do a tutorial for you guys today. Would kind of be a little simpler, a little less technical, maybe make it a little bit easier for you to grow your own microgreens. And we're going to go through the whole process. I'm going to talk to you first about what you need to do, and then I'm actually going to take you through, just like I did with the sprouts video that I did about a month ago. So there's a link right up here if you want to learn how to grow sprouts. We are going to just go through day by day and show you the progress of microgreens. Now, microgreens take a little bit longer than sprouts to grow. Usually we're looking about 8 to maybe as long as 14 days, depending on the variety of microgreens that you're growing. I've got a batch of sunflower microgreens right here, and these were ready to harvest in about 10 days. They're actually sitting at about 12 days right now. We started harvesting them, as you can tell from the end here, and I'm going to finish these up today. But sunflowers, right around that 8, 9, 10-day mark is when you're going to be growing. Now, one thing to keep in mind is it's important where you're growing. The best temperature for microgreens is somewhere between 65 and 75 degrees. If you can hit that sweet spot, they're going to do really well. Any colder than that, they'll still grow, but it's just going to be a little bit slower. Anyways, I'm super excited about this because it's been a lot of fun growing these microgreens. I'm going to put these away over here so that they're out of our way. Now, I have been growing microgreens on and off over the years, mostly things like kale and broccoli. We like those a lot, so we've grown a lot of kale and broccoli microgreens over the years. So I was super excited when True Leaf Market suggested that they send me their starter kit, and it has a bunch of different seeds in it that I had never grown before. So I've had a lot of fun over the last few weeks growing a bunch of different microgreens that I've actually never grown before. Let me talk to you really quick about the kit. So the kit comes with 6 of these trays. So it has 3 that don't have, or that have holes, 3 that don't have holes, and you'll learn what those are for here in a minute. Also comes with some instructions. It comes with a pH test. It comes with enough of the soil pucks. So these are Cocoa Choir soil pucks. This is what they look like out of the package. And it comes with enough of these to do about 12 batches. And then it comes with a boatload of seeds. Enough seeds to do dozens and dozens of batches. So it comes with a package of beets, a package of cilantro, a package of buckwheat, a package of peas, and this giant package of sunflowers. And that's what we're going to do today, is the sunflowers. So over the last few weeks, we have grown all of these different varieties except for the cilantro. I haven't had a chance to get the cilantro going yet. Cilantro tastes like soap to me, so I'm not all excited about it, but my wife actually wants some. She likes cilantro, so we're going to do some cilantro here in the next week or so. But we have done all of these, and we're going to do a second batch of the sunflowers today so that you guys see how those go, because they grow really well, super tasty. and we really like the sunflower. The peas were really good too. The beets were great. Buckwheat are still growing, and so I'll let you know by the end of this video I'll have those done as well. And by the way, this whole kit is pretty reasonably priced for, you know, what's going to end up being dozens and dozens of batches. So everything that you see here that I talked about is $72, $73. And you can get that. It'll all come to you in a box, and you're ready to go. I mean, you literally can open it up and add water to the soil, and you're off and running. So great little kit from True Leaf Market. There's a link down in the description of this video that you can click on to go buy that. Let's go through the process of growing microgreens. It's actually fairly simple. The only thing complicated about microgreens is just the time. It just takes some time. So most microgreens take between 12 to 14 days to mature. And so that's the real waiting game. The actual process is fairly simple. So first thing we're going to do is you want to get the seeds soaked. So I pre-measured some sunflower seeds. We're going to do sunflowers today. It takes about a cup of sunflowers to do a tray this way. And we want to soak them for about 12 hours. Now that will be different for every type of seed that you choose. And so you need to look at the package and find out which, you know, how long each one. You know, some of them will only need 2 or 3 hours of soaking, others will need a full 12 hours. Sunflowers, because they have that hard shell, do need about 12 hours of soaking time, okay? Really quick, before we start the process, let me talk to you just a little bit about soil pH. So this is one of those technical things that growers, professional growers really worry about, because again, they're after the most yield and the most harvest that they can get. As a home grower that's just growing for your family, you don't have to worry too much about this, but I do suggest that you at least test and have a decent idea of what the pH of your water is, okay? So we're targeting about a pH of 6, and so the kit comes with some test strips. You can test and see where your water's at. So it then comes with some instructions that you can use to adjust the pH of your water if needed. You can add either some vinegar or some like lemon juice to it if you need to add acidity. If you've got too much alkalinity, then you can add a little baking soda to the water to bring that down kind of around that target of 6. Again, that's really important if you're growing professionally. It's less important if you are just growing in your house. So you decide. I checked mine and our pH was just a little bit over the target. So we were at about 7, which is in range. And so I'm not worrying about it. And we're fine. Our microgreens have been growing great. You know, I've done several batches over the last few weeks. And no worries. So you decide whether you want to really do that. Again, that's kind of a technical thing. So unless you're dramatically either very acidic water or very alkaline water, I wouldn't worry too much about adjusting the pH, okay? But the kit does come with that option, okay? All right, so here's my favorite part, mainly because I'm a child. The cocoa coir comes in these pucks, and we're going to hydrate them. And so for each puck, we need to add 3 cups of water. So I've pre-measured those, and let's come in here and I'll show you why it's my favorite part. So hydrating is just super easy. We're just going to pour the water, and you want to kind of pour it over the top so that you start getting it wet. And then basically we are just going to let these guys sit. And again, you want to kind of make sure that they get wet on top and the bottom. And then we're just going to let them sit for, it doesn't take very long, 2 or 3 minutes. You can see they're already starting to expand. All right, so we're back. It's been less than 5 minutes, about 3 minutes, and you can see that they have soaked up all that water. So we're just going to kind of break it up a little bit here and mix it into what's left of the water. It'll kind of just soak up the last of that water, and then this is ready to go. We don't need to do anything else to it. That's the nice thing about the cocoa coir is, you know, we don't need to add perlite. We don't need to add nutrients or anything like that because we just don't need that for microgreens. So let's just take these, and what we're going to do is just put it in our tray. And then we are just going to spread this out. And again, this is 2 of those cocoa coir pucks. It's about 4 quarts total of material. So we'll spread that out kind of. If you want to even it out, I have found that this is very helpful. Just take that top, kind of press it down, and there we go. Then we are going to take our seeds. This is nice because we can take this and just drain it off. So I'll just pour it off here in my other container. Then we are just going to take our seeds and we want to kind of just spread them out evenly across the surface. Then you want to kind of just go through with your hand and make sure that you don't have any big clumps or anything. And again, just spread them around evenly so that you've got a good solid spacing like that. Now, if you wanted, you could stop right here. You don't have to cover the soil with you don't have to cover the seeds with anything else. They will germinate and root like this. But I have found that if I just add a little bit of seedling mix over the top and then moisten that down, that I get a little bit better germination. So just a couple of handfuls is all we're going to put on here so that we've got, you know, just like 1/8 of an inch layer over the top. Just a little bit more right there. There you go. So that's all. Got a couple of twigs from that seed starting mix. That's all you really need to do. Just a thin layer like that. And then we're going to spray these down and they're ready to go in the dark. Then we are going to take these guys inside and somewhere where it's nice and warm, and we're going to give them some time in the dark. And that's where the 2 trays comes in handy. So we're going to have the seeds in the tray with the holes, and then we are going to cover it like this. And then once or twice a day, we're going to come out with a spray bottle and we're going to spray down those seeds and the top of this so that we keep the humidity up. Then we're going to cover this guy up and we're going to leave these guys in the dark, again, depending on the variety, usually somewhere between 2 to 5 days. And so what we want is nice, even germination. We want those seedlings starting to come up, starting to push their way up and get their first set of leaves coming, those seedling leaves coming up. And part of the reason why we have the dark is because we want those seedlings to stretch. So unlike seed starting with microgreens, we actually want those plants to be a little bit on the leggy side. We want them to stretch up and to be nice and tall. And so the dark helps that. So we're going to leave them in for about 3 to 5 days and until those are all germinated and up and starting to grow. Then we're going to take the top off, put this back inside like that. That way we can water from the bottom as needed. And then we are going to expose them to light. So we're just going to take our spray bottle, make sure that that top layer is nice and moist. Then we are going to go ahead, cover this guy up just like that. We'll take it inside and we'll go from there. So what I'm going to do now is I will come back every day about 24 hours apart. And you know, every day during this process, we're going to want to come and spray those down to keep them nice and moist. And so we'll kind of go through the process over the next 8 days. I'll come back once every 24 hours and show you how things are progressing. Okay guys, so this is end of day 2. So it's been about 30 hours since I first filmed me putting this all together. And if you look really close, like right there, See how that's white? That's a seed, and that's actually the seed starting to sprout. There's quite a few others around here as well that are starting to sprout in just that little time. So what I'm going to do, give everything a good squirt. Squirt the inside of our tray too. That helps to keep the humidity up. Put the lid back on, and we'll check it again in 12 hours. Okay guys, this is the end of day 3. Let's take our lid off, and you can see we are starting to get some pretty good germination happening. Quite a few. If you look closely here at these, they're starting to sprout. So again, we'll just give them a spritz. Basically, we're just trying to keep the humidity up. Spray the inside of the dome. A little more, and we are good. Tomorrow, we'll see a lot of progress on these. All right. Next day, and as you can see, lots of progress. So notice the big change in the last 24 hours. Things really starting to come up. We'll see, again, more big change tomorrow. So just going to spray. Soil still seems to be in pretty good shape, so I don't think we need to bottom water or anything yet. Just go ahead and spray. Moisture on the inside. And tomorrow we'll see another big change. Okay guys, so exciting news. Looking really good. I think we are going to give these 12 more hours in the dark. And then tomorrow morning, it's night right now, tomorrow morning, we'll pull these guys out and get them under the light. And you will be amazed. It'll be a couple of days and these will be ready to go. So again, day 5 and looking good. About ready to go under the lights. Okay guys, so as you can see, we are germinated really well and starting to grow tall. And so it is time to expose these guys to light. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to put about a cup of water in this tray that we've been using as the blackout tray. So we're just going to add a little water here so that there's some water for that to soak up into our microgreens. We're going to put that in there. And then we are simply just going to put it under our lights. And we're probably 2 or 3 days away from finished product at this point. Okay guys, look at the big change in just one day. Pretty impressive. These technically are ready to eat. If you wanted to eat them now, they would be fine. Is what I'm going to do today. I've made sure to keep the soil moist, and it doesn't need water today. You can feel, if you just kind of feel in here, you can still feel that there's moisture. So I am going to spray the top, and here's why. I'll go ahead and spray this, and what that does is it kind of helps to loosen up the seed shells. So if you look, there's still some holes that are stuck here. And what you want to do is just kind of run your hand. Make sure your hands are clean before you do this, and run your hand over the top of these. And you're going to want to do that every day for, you know, the last few days, however long you're going to keep these. So I think we've got things to do and space to take up under our lights, and so I think we will probably call these good at day 8. They could probably go to like day 9 or 10 if you really wanted to. But the only thing that really is left to do is just to get these holes off. And some of them, they'll come off just by, you know, rubbing like that. Others you're going to have to, they'll be a little stubborn. You'll kind of have to pick. And so I like to just spend 5 minutes kind of going through the tray and pulling. Some of them are going to resist, and so I'll usually give those another day. But a lot of them are just going to pop right off, and you'll be able to get those holes off. And then, you know, just give them a good spray a couple of times a day until you're ready to harvest. But like I say, this is end of day 7. 7 days is all this took, guys, to get to this stage. We'll probably go ahead and harvest at the end of day 8. I think they'll have filled out completely, and we'll be ready to go tomorrow. So we'll come back for harvest. All right, guys, so we are looking really good. This is the end of day 8, and we are ready for harvest. You can see we're just starting to see a few true leaves starting to happen.
For best flavor, we want to get these guys harvested before they actually start setting true leaves. So now is the time. So you can kind of go through if you want and pick off the last of these little shells that might be sticking here. Some of them will still be a little bit stubborn at this point, but most of those you should just be able to kind of clear away, and then we will harvest these things first thing tomorrow morning. All right, 8 days from start to finish.
All right, guys, let's harvest some microgreens. So first off, make sure your hands are clean. With the sunflowers, and these are one of the few plants that you really have to struggle with. You've got the seed casings, and like I said, as we went through the days, I kind of rubbed my hand across, and that knocks most of these off, but you'll kind of have a few of these left, and you don't really want those in your finished product just because you don't want to break a tooth or something on one of those seeds. So I kind of will go through and pick off the last of those if needs be. And then essentially we're just going to use a pair of kitchen scissors. You could use a knife. I've seen a lot of people that will harvest them with a knife, but essentially we're just going to come in here and you want to cut them above the soil line, so don't get down so deep that you're getting soil, and then make sure that you check, because sometimes you'll pull just like you saw there. I had some in there, and then we are just going to put those in. So we'll kind of just go through and harvest up this whole tray. All right, guys, so there you have it, a big, beautiful bowl of sunflower microgreens. We really, really love these. Believe it or not, they taste like sunflowers, so like sunflower seeds. Really good. Really like the flavor of these. Every one we've tried so far, we've really liked. The peas, the buckwheat, the beets, all of them have just been delicious. And of course, we've done broccoli sprouts and kale for a long time as well. So super good for you, easy to make. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. A couple of kind of finishing things. So microgreens will not regrow, okay? So it's not lettuce, so they're not going to regrow. So once you've harvested them, you're done. This is good or organic material that can go out in your compost bin. It can be composted, and then move on to your next batch, but they won't regrow, so you do just need to compost that, okay? Also, these are going to need to be washed, and so before you use them, on any big scale, you'll want to kind of wash them a little bit, and then you can just put them in a plastic bag, like a Ziploc bag or something like that, and they will stay fresh for about a week. Add them to soups, salads, sandwiches. They're awesome. Really, really good. So, and again, that's a lot. It's just my wife and I. We're gonna be pressed to eat all those up in a week. So, good stuff. All right. Thank you again to True Leaf Market for sponsoring this video. Again, they gave us the kit that you saw me using throughout this whole process. That is their starter kit. So it comes with 6 trays, 3 with holes, 3 without, a pH test kit, 5 packages of seeds, a ton of seeds. There's so many seeds that you're going to be able to do dozens and dozens of batches from all the seeds that you get. Plus it comes with 24 of those Cocoa Coir pucks that you can use for the soil. So there's enough of those pucks for about a dozen batches. You use 2 for each batch. And all of that for about $72 is what you are going to pay for that kit. So there's a link down in the description of this video you can click on. Great way to get going. They also have a deluxe kit that comes with a whole bunch more, but that kit is a great starter kit. If you're just getting started, this is a perfect way to get going. It's gonna get you moving along, and you'll have enough seeds to last for a long, long time. So great way to get going. Thank you again to True Leaf Market for sponsoring this video. Okay. All right. That, my friends, is all that I have for you for this week. Before we go, please make sure you get subscribed to my YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Let me know if you like the longer format and the day-by-day format. I tried to make it as instructive as I could. And then make sure that you go follow us over on Instagram. Check out the Gardening Academy, which is our monthly subscription service where we teach you how to become a better gardener. There's a link for that in the description as well. Okay, that's all I have for you for this week, guys. Everybody have a fantastic week. Make sure you go buy one of these kits. Happy gardening.